Hey, welcome to the Ozzstar channel. Today we're going to install an air deflector on the front of a 2016 Ford F150. Now some people call them a bug shield. I guess they do both. But what they do is prevent the front edge of that hood from getting stone chips or bug guts all over it. It can also, I've seen it where it deflects some of the small stones or pebbles from hitting the windshield. So you're less likely to get more bug splats and less window chips and cracks on your windshield with one of these installed. We're going to go with the Ford accessory, so it should fit nice. It's well made. I'm going to leave a link to in the description down below with all the part numbers that you might need if you miss it during the video. Should be somewhat easy to install. A couple of clips. I'll show you all the little tips and tricks, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for coming along. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all the support actually from everyone who comments and likes and watches my videos. It's always nice to have that interaction with the YouTube crowd. So before I touch up the front of the hood, I have some touch-up paint that matches. This is blue jeans is the color, metallic. Anyway, I've got chips on the front edge, all on the front edge of this hood. So here's one there. That's a pretty good size one. Got this nick scratch thing, whatever it is there. Got another nick here. This is all within 9,000 miles. I mean, it's not that many miles. I can't even imagine what it would look like at 50. Here's another one. And I try to avoid, you know, being behind a dump truck and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let me touch that paint up. I'm going to clean the front of the hood. I'll put a polymer across there, a sealant, you know, which is like a wax. And then I'll get the bug shield installed. There's 5 clips total. You got the 3 big ones that go in the center and then one of the shorter ones on each end. And they give you these little rubber bumpers, I guess you call them, and they go right over this whole area, so on the inside. So 3 are longer, and then you got the 2 that are shorter. So that's simple enough. They're self-adhesive, just like a little sticker. And just place those over, press them on. So all 5 clips have the rubber protection on there now. So here's our part number. So I got the front chips touched up. I touched them all up, and it looks a lot better. In the instructions that they give you here, they tell you wait 2 to 3 minutes, wash, and then dry the front. Obviously that would make sense because once you put your bug deflector on or air deflector, you won't have access to that anymore. You want a nice clean surface, and only makes sense. But if you guys know me or watch my videos, you know I didn't just spend 2 to 3 minutes on the hood, probably more like an hour and a half, 45 minutes fully detailing it out. I use Gary Dean's Infinite Use Detail Juice products. They're amazing. I'm going to brag on them for a second here. This is not a detailing video, but I did use for the first time this product here called Heavy Duty Car Show Dream Cream. It's a 2-part thing with the stripper, which basically you strip off all contaminants. I clay barred, I polished, and then I used the Heavy Duty Car Show Dream Cream, and I'm telling you what, if you could feel this, it is slicker than snot. I've used this Vitality Shield. I've used this products for years, but this Dream Cream is amazing. If you have a show car or you just like your car shiny, I would highly suggest it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna spill the beans right here. I'll give you my discount code. So if you do go to Gary's site, detailjuice.com, put in Ozzstar 10, the number 10, 10, Ozzstar 10, just like the channel, and you'll get 10% off. So go ahead and use it because you won't be disappointed. So anyway, let's get to the air deflector. That's what we're here for. And I'll pull the truck in the shop and we'll get to it. So before we really get started here, I just want to point something out. They give you these rubber cone-shaped bumpers. Now this will stick to the top of the hood and actually behind the deflector. But what you need to notice is there's 5 of these, oops, where is it? Right here, yellow markers. There's one here, 2, 3, and then 2, here's the other one. So when you peel off the plastic protective film as you're working, this is going to want to peel off with it. So make sure that you kind of hold it down. Let me see if I can do that right now. And that way your yellow marker will stay on there for you after the wrapper's off so that you don't lose that spot. And I'm assuming that's where these are going to stick. So this weather strip gasket right up here in the center, and the instructions have all this in it. but you've got to pop these. There's two, looks like there's two pins right here, plastic pins here, one in the center, and then two on the ends. So to get these pins out, I like to use one of these plastic pry bars. They won't mark or gnarl the paint up. And I'll leave that link to this in the description down below. They're relatively inexpensive, and you just get up. I go behind the rubber. I'm not sure if you can see. Let's see what I'm doing here. What's going on? There we go. And I just get up behind there, and then with that 45 makes it a little easier. Sometimes you got to wiggle back and forth, and then they'll just pop. You can hear it. So, and like I say, you don't have to worry about them too much because you got a screw going there. Well, one of these you will reuse. So right here, it just has, I don't know if that's, there it's focusing. Little barbs on it, no biggie. Just get that under there, give it a good tug, and it pops right out. Pop these mambo jumbos out. Tuggy tug. There we go. Now they want you to take this alcohol prep pad they give you. This, you know, it's just for cleaning. Usually I'll just take some glass cleaner first and then just clean this area here. And then the outer hood is all prepped, obviously, because you saw me do that earlier, but take a little bit of your prep on the paint surface on the outer edge here and get that all cleaned up. The reason they want you to prep that, this protective 3M film they give you is going to, this is one of the clips. It's going to hook or slide up onto the lip or the edge of that hood, and this way you won't scratch the paint. So basically you're going to apply one of these on here around the edge and then slip the clip on. I'll get you a close up on this in a second. I'm just lining this up. This clear film's just going to go right around the edge. I'll show you how far up I'm going. So you can see like this flat part of the hood right there. Of course, I'm right in front of that wire or that plastic nut, and I'm only coming up maybe 5/8 of an inch at the most. And then you just press that on, and then what I do is, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Come around the edge, just put some pressure on it. Just keep the, you know, sort of tension, I guess you call it, on the back there, and then all the way up and under. And I think I got most of that on film for you. So now I'm just basically here, let me show you, just pressing it right up into here. That's it, just to protect the edge of this paint from chipping. See how it's shaped? This is where the hood is actually gonna sit, or the paint part of the hood I should say. And then the square hole down here on the bottom, that's where the screw's gonna go through. So it's just gonna go through like this. Basically, just like that. Let me get my finger out of your way so you can get an idea of how it's going to look. So they give you these 3 little white T-clips, and those are going to go into the holes where we just basically took the pins out. So let's snap those in there. I guess this can go in before or after the plastic, doesn't really matter. So, you know, your little 3M coating deal. Okay, something to note is, you know, the center's obvious, but here on the sides we've got 2 holes. So one has this, like, I don't know, it's like a bump out here, and then the other one's flat. So the inner hole is the one you want to use for your protective film and where your clip is actually going to go into. So you take one of your white threaded nuts here, or nut driver, threader, deals, whatever you want to call it, and put that right in there. And then same thing on the driver's side. So that's where those go. Don't put them in this outer hole here to the on our left. This is the passenger side. Make sure you put it on the inner flat spot. All right, so it's time to attach these clips. You know, they're threaded into that plastic nut we popped in, those little white ones. On the center, it's a T15 in the middle, and I don't know why, but over here on the left and the right, they want a T20 screw. Those are like nickel color. The center one is black. And let's thread that in right now. And we get the other clips on there. And move to the next step. So it looks like these do have some adjustment as far as left to right. So I'm not going to go ballistic on them right now. We can snug them up at the end. after it's all in. All right, we'll go figure the plastic nut spinning around on us in here. So we'll have to wedge something behind here to stop it from spinning. All right, since that plastic nut was spinning around in circles, what I want to do is, before the bracket goes on, I'm going to I don't know what you would call it, tap it, I guess. So I'm just going to screw this screw in and bottom it out. And then when we go to do the real deal, it shouldn't spin around like that. I'm going to pre-tap this, these other two white nuts, plastic nuts on the end, because I'll tell you right now, these screws sit in real snug, real tight, and there's no way you're going to get these tightened if that nut keeps spinning around. So let me get a small screwdriver to hold that in place. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to actually attach the clips, and like I said, the little square hole is where you want to attach your screw. And we got the center one just floating here behind the weather stripping right now. That takes a T15 screw, and the two on the ends here, this side and that side, are a little heavier. They're T20s, they're a little bigger. So what you need to do is line up your screw through the weather strip. I hold a bracket in place, and then kind of, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm looking behind there just to get that hole started. And once you get going, you're all set. And we just want to snug these down. I think they call for like 6 to 8 inch pounds, which is not very tight at all. Just get it snug, you know. You don't want to strip it out. No ugga-duggas here. So once you got all the screws tight, don't forget these little buttons, because you got this extra clip, I guess you could call it, pin. So just pop one in there and then one on the other side. So I want to prep the piece before it goes in. I use this Plexus product. I'll put a link in the description down below. This is made for plastic. Don't ever use Windex on your plastic parts, because it can yellow them out. There's ammonia in there. If it's ammonia free, then you're okay. But this Plexus is sort of like a cleaner and almost like a plastic wax, I would call it. So it works really good, and a little bit goes a long way. So we want to clean this up just so we don't have any dirt or fingerprints inside there when it's on, once it's on the truck. It's time to put the shield in. We've got the back all clean now, you know, the inside, I guess you'd call it. Now the shield does have 3 slots. Let's see, right here, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but there's 3 slots, and that's going to line up with our brackets. They give you these little screws. If you have this charcoal smoke colored shield, they call it, use the black ones. If you got the chrome, they also make this in chrome, same design, just chrome. You can use the shinier 5 little metal screws they give you that are like nickel color. So anyway, let's get this started. Now just be gentle, you don't want to scratch the outside of that paint on the hood. And we'll just get these screws lined up. We'll get them in. I'm not going to go ballistic on them at first. Let's get all them lined up, and then we can snug them up after. I'm using a @1 Phillips screwdriver here because these screws are a little bit tiny. They're a little bit on the small side. And we'll get that lined up. There we go. That one started, I can feel it. Now if you want, I think what I'll do is I'll set a microfiber just behind this here so it's not smacking the metal, the paint on the hood, and support it a little bit, that's all. There we go. Alright, we don't want to get these too tight, we don't want the shit to crack. That's for damn sure. But we want them snug. So with the protective film in place, I want to go ahead and get this clip started. Now what I did do was I took this screw and threaded it into that clip so that it would bottom out. Because on the other side there, it felt like it was a little bit loose. You know, it wasn't bolting or threading all the way down. So now I got a tight grip on it here. I'm just sliding this clip on the edge now. and it's definitely a tight fit. The screw threads into the clip. You've got the washer there. Here's our clip back here on top of that protective 3M film, and then that wraps right around here, right around the edge of the hood, which you can see, and here's the back of it right there. So that should give you a good idea of what you're looking for. So with everything tightened down now, we got the 2 end clips on. We'll close the hood. Let's lower it, peel the plastic. Ooh, you got some serious backlight there. Peel the plastic off, that protective film, and then we've got these rubber bumpers that need to go in, and wipe everything down. All done. All right, I'm not going to latch it all the way down yet. Let's get this plastic off here. Alright, so the back of these little bumpers have a sticker, and everywhere we've got a yellow dot, we're just going to put, place it right behind there. So we'll peel that sticker off, pull up on this a little bit, slip it in there, and basically it's just a cushion for this. So this can't push down. I guess it takes out some deflection, but we'll do that on all 5 spots, and I'll take it out in the sunlight and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so that's how it came out. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a Ford accessory, so it fits well and appears to be made well for what it is. Thanks for stopping by. I hope this video helps you out if you're going to be installing this bug shield yourself. Something to keep in mind, those clips, the metal clips, make sure you pre-thread those screws in. Make sure they bottom out and go all the way in, because if not, you're not going to get a nice tight fit, and you don't want it loose. The last thing you want it to do going down the road is flopping around. Also, those 3 white clips that were at the top, same thing. I would pre-screw those in, kind of self-tap them, so that when you do tighten it down, they are snug. If you can't get it tight, when you're trying to screw it in and the nut spinning, the plastic spinning, just take a small pair of pliers or even a small screwdriver maybe. Don't scratch the paint, of course, and get those little clips tight. And I did put the other 5 little cone rubber bumpers in. There's 5 total, so that'll support it that way. And I think it looks good. And the most important part is it prevents the chips from occurring, and maybe a windshield crack or a chip, so that's a good thing. Anyway, I appreciate the interaction with you guys here on YouTube. Leave me a comment down below. Thumbs up's always good. Even a thumbs down, I guess, can work too. Anyway, check out my other videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.